Shalom Aleichem and Baruchim Habayim. This is Moshe Langado speaking under the auspices of Kollel, Baruch Avat Israel in Southern California and Sha'rei Tziyon here in Brooklyn, New York. My friends, this week we will be reading Parshat Vayishlach. And Yaakov Avinu has already left the house of Lavan. He's finally going back home, going back to his father Yitzchak's home. And he hears that who's coming to greet him? His brother Esav. And he is worried. Maybe Esav still hates him. Maybe that deep hate is still there. And more so, the report is that he's coming with 400 men. And I don't think Esav was planning to make a party. Most likely those 400 men were military men. Vayira Yaakov Me'od. And Yaakov was very scared. And our sages ask, why was he so scared? Doesn't he know that the Almighty will protect him? Wasn't he promised by God if he was good, he would be protected? And certainly, Yaakov did everything in his power to follow the dictates of God, follow the words of the Holy Torah. But our sages tell us there was something which bothered him. Something which he did not have that Esav did have. For all these years that Yaakov was absent, Esav was able to accomplish the mitzvah of kibud av va'em. He was able to honor and respect his parents. And Yaakov was bereft of that mitzvah. My friends, kibud av va'em does not mean the honor a little child gives his parent. Certainly a child has to be taught to respect his elders and his parents. But we're talking about grown men in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, taking care of their parents and respecting them and honoring them. That's the kibud av va'em that Yaakov was worried about. Now we do know that Yitzchak was basically blind. And he needed a lot of help. And who was there to help him? Esav. And Yaakov did not have that mitzvah. And another mitzvah, which Esav had, which Yaakov didn't have. Esav lived in Eretz Yisrael. There was the mitzvah of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, which Yaakov did not have, for he was in Chutz La'aretz. He was outside of the Holy Land. Those two mitzvot, Yaakov thought, would protect Esav from anything evil, and maybe his own Yaakov's downfall. As it turned out, they made peace. But let us learn from the fear that Yaakov had of these two great mitzvot. Kibud av va'em. Yes, Esav was an expert in kibud av va'em, but we don't see that midah in his descendants. We still honor our great forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, as we say every day in our prayers, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov. That's our foundation. Not so with Esav and his descendants. He was able to honor them in their lifetime, maybe not afterwards. A Jewish young man who loses his parents, for the whole year, he says Kaddish in their memory. And then every year following the week of the Yortzeit, he goes and says Kaddish. That is also part of the mitzvah of Kibud av va'em. And also the mitzvah of Yeshuv Eretz Yisrael. Esav found greener pastures than Har Seir. He left Eretz Yisrael for more, or at least he thought, more beautiful grounds. But we Jews, we've been in the diaspora for close to 2,000 years, till 1948. And we cried and we prayed, God Almighty, return us to our land. We never forgot Eretz Yisrael. We never forgot Yerushalayim. We never forgot Tziyon. And even though we may be living in the diaspora, but our hearts are all in Eretz Yisrael. And may we soon all join hands and find ourselves in that holy land. Shabbat Shalom.